have the chance, you can actually catch up on TikTok live. But anyway, many of you already know me. Is your girl Ades. So yeah, so as we start. Now a lot of us knows that poverty and food insecurity is one of those global crises, those global problems we have every time. In fact, this has been an ongoing problem. It's been an ongoing problem right from when majority of us was born up until now. That is still going on. And this global problem is causing huge problems for citizens of Nigeria and the whole of Africa. And not just Nigeria that is affected, but countries like Uganda, Kenya, Haiti, Ivory Coast. There's so many African countries who are suffering from poverty and food insecurity. And do you know why? The reason why is because of the way the country is being ruled by the government of those various countries, because they don't think about their citizens. They don't have them in mind. They do what they like. They force themselves into power when they were not even voted in. So they do what they like. They do it anyhow. And they feel that oh, okay. They feel that if they can actually do that, then they can get Nigeria, they can get Haiti, they can get Uganda, they can get Kenya to listen to them. But that is not the way. That's not the way to go about things. It's not the way to go about things. If you want to be listened to, hi, how are you? Yeah, thank you for coming on. So yeah, if you want to be listened to, first of all, you need to do the right thing, because you as the president of Nigeria, of Haiti, of Uganda, of Kenya, you presidents has suffered the whole of the citizens. So tell me, how do you think that you would be listened to when you should have done the right thing? You should have done the right thing from the beginning. You seem to have forgotten that you sitting in the president's seat was born from a woman. You seem to have forgotten that you were born from a woman. The same as the whole citizens of Nigeria, Haiti, Uganda, Kenya, and many African countries. They were all born from women. So why do you need to treat the citizens of Africa as if they're trash, as if they're nothing? Just because you forced yourself into power. Why do you have to treat people the way you do? You don't do that. You don't do that at all. It is very wrong. It is very wrong to treat somebody that you didn't even give birth to in such a manner. It's very bad. And you need to do the right thing. Now, poverty is a leading driver of food insecurity, creating a vicious cycle where each problem is defined by lack of income. And that is another problem. That's another problem. Because of the high increase of food, it makes people not to be able to afford money to buy food, simply because the prices has increased. Just like in the UK here, even in the UK here, it's not easy. It's not even easy to see food. It's not easy because every year we have to suffer the fact that the food prices has increased again. Just last year, the prices of food has increased again. This year, the same thing. So every year we have to suffer with the increase of we have to suffer with the price increase of food. And it's not easy for us. It's not easy for us here. It's really kind of it's hard, because majority of us, we are low income earners. We don't earn much. But we are learning to manage. We're learning to manage on the little that we receive. And that's one of the things that Nigeria needs to learn. That's one of the things that Nigeria needs to learn, because some of Nigeria, they feel that that in the UK we're living in heaven. No, we're not living in heaven. We're living in stress. We are living in stress day in, day out, because we are working like machines. We are working like machines, where majority of us are working about 3 to 4 different jobs just so that we can survive. And no rest, back to back. We don't have rest. Here is like where they've kind of programmed us like a working machine. And the worst part of it is that when we receive our salary at the end of the month, because some of us that earns over 1,000, some of us that earns $2,000 or more, some of us that earns like over 3,000. Then the worst part of it is that HMRC will now come in and cut practically half of your salary, or even a quarter of your salary. So as many that earn like 3,000 and above, HMRC will probably cut 500 or 600 from your salary. Then when you check your account, you see that you're left with probably 2,000 or even 1,800. And that's what they say here. The more you work, the more you work and earn, the more tax you pay. So we over here, we are suffering. We're like working machine. We're working machine where we're working. Sorry guys, my legs. Where we're working, and instead of us to earn our salary, we're ending up having to pay more tax. And that tax is going to where it's not even supposed to go. We are the ones. We are the backbones. We are the backbone. We are the drive. We are the drive of how the UK currently is. Because if we don't work, then then there will not be any investment and UK will not be looking how it is. We are practically the backbone, because we are the ones that made UK the way it is. Even though that UK did kind of steal from us, but we're not kind of holding them. We're not holding them at all. But that was at many years ago. That's a story of many years ago. Even when I wasn't even born. When this whole thing happened. So we're talking of the present. So anyway, so poverty is defined by the lack of income, resources, and access to basic necessity, which directly limits a household's ability to afford enough safe and nutritious food. This causes food insecurity or inability to reliably obtain a significant and healthy diet. Now again, when you're not receiving much, that's where poverty and food insecurity comes in, because again, you're not earning that much. And with as many of you that lives in many of us that lives in the UK, you know how the UK is here. You know how it is over here, that we're practically paying everything through our nose. We're paying everything through our nose. And by the time HMRC has taken their own, they've taken tax, and the remaining of what you have, remember, you still have to pay your rent, because in the UK here, our rent, we have to pay our rent every month, and we can't afford to miss paying our rent, because otherwise we will see ourselves on the streets. So then, out of the remaining money that you have after HMRC has taken tax, you have to pay your rent. In that rent as well, you have to also pay council tax, and mostly to as many of you that work full time. Yeah, you kind of understand what I mean, because many of you that works full time, you will actually feel it. You'll feel it more than those that work part time, because the full timers, most of the full timers, they live in a rented, as in a privately rented flat that the council is not paying for. They are paying through their nose. Council tax isn't even a legal requirement. Hi, Gary. I mean, I guess you can say that. Yeah, I guess you can say that. But obviously, yeah, it may not be a legal requirement, but obviously, it's something that we have to do. Yeah, it's lovely to see you on here. Anyway, so back to what I'm saying. Yeah, so it may not be a legal requirement, but it's something, is one of those things that we actually have to do. Yeah, we have to we have to actually do it, because otherwise, if not, they will be bombarding you with letters, with emails, with phone calls, just chasing you for you to pay the council tax. It's a bit tricky not to pay. Yeah, you're right. You're definitely right about that. You are right about that. But yeah, it's something that, yeah, it is something that we have, that we need to pay. Unfortunately, although that is not a legal requirement, we do kind of need to pay it. And then after paying the council tax, then your phone bill, that you use as in your contract bill that you have to pay for every month, just to make sure that you are able to have phone call umbrellas. But if you manage to gain the knowledge, and wherewith I will employ anyone to not pay it, as its funds. Yeah, of course, you're right. Yeah, in fact, there are some people. Not all pay council tax. I'm not gonna lie. Not all pay council tax, it's just like, to me is like, what's the point of paying council tax? Because the rent alone that you pay is even meant to cover the council tax, really. So it's just like, that's just kind of an extra waste of money. The rent that you pay is kind of supposed to cover everything, really, because for example, your rent may be 1,800 a month, or your rent may be 1,200. So in that 200, why can't 2,000 go to the rent, while the 200 goes to council tax? Yeah. So practically, it should be, yeah, it's kind of really supposed to cover. It's supposed to cover both rent and the council tax. But I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes I even often think to myself that, what is the point of paying council tax when only the amount of rent that you need to pay alone should even cover the council? Yeah, okay. The council have as much right to insist we pay a council to pay a tax to them as supermarkets do. Yeah, you're definitely not. Yeah, Gary, you're right about that. Yeah, you are. You're right about that. But to me, it's not really. It's not really a necessity. It's not really a necessity, really, because I just kind of see it as extra waste of money. Yeah, I see it as an extra waste of money. And if a person can only just pay their rent and their phone bill, and still have enough to be able to buy food, then things will be better for them. But when you have to pay for all these things, there is not enough money left over for a family, for a family or a low income earner to be able to buy food. And then when there's not enough money for food, they end up having to go to bed on an empty stomach. And then when they go to bed on an empty stomach, the worms in the belly will be disturbing them, just because they haven't been able to eat because of no money, because the money is not enough. So we need to actually voice our hearts out to the president of Nigeria, and also the other African countries, even worldwide. We need to voice our hearts out, because The citizens are suffering. They are suffering. They are suffering so much, and it's not good for them. It's not good for them because it's making them to fall sick. It's making them to be malnourished because no money to buy food, and they end up having to, okay. God wants us to gain knowledge. We can't just pray our problems away, I'm afraid. Yeah, Gary, yes, you are right. Yeah, of course. Yeah, we need to gain we need to gain knowledge. Yeah. We need to gain knowledge, and yeah, at the same time we need to our problems we need to commit them to God. That's he's the only one that can help us. He's the only one that can help us to overcome all these challenges we're facing, all this poverty that we're facing. He's the only one that can actually deliver us and help us. But if we don't call to God for help, then how's he going to answer us? It's not nice. It's not really nice at all that we're having to face these problems on a daily basis. But what can we do? There's not much that we can do but to pray to God. And God gives us spiritual zeal in able to fight against evil. Yes, Gary, you are right. You are definitely right about that. Yes, he does. He gives us spiritual zeal. Yeah, he does. He gives us spiritual zeal. He gives us spiritual zeal, and that's the Bible. That's the Bible itself. The Bible is the spiritual zeal and weapon to fight against evil. Because the enemy is always looking for who to devour and to destroy all the time. Yeah, and we can't just sit there and allow the enemy to destroy us. We can't. We need to be on prayers. We need to be on prayers all the time. Anyway, Gary, you want to turn me to a preacher now? You want to turn me to a preacher? Anyway, so back to what I'm saying. So yes, so then after paying council tax and everything, not enough money left. Then the remaining money, the highest that you can have after paying your council tax, either 700 left, £700 left, or even 500. And then in that 700 or 500, you still have to buy food. It's sad. It's really sad that it's so sad that we have to go through this. And this is also part of why that there's always protests going on every time in the UK here, because this is part of it. Climate change, that they're always protesting. Climate change, climate change, and to end war. War is also one of the problems that causes poverty and food insecurity. War every time in Russia, Afghanistan, Gaza. Just like we always hear on the news. But this time around, we're not even hearing that the war mostly is in Russia again. Is now Gaza is mostly Israel and Gaza that's fighting now. You see, that means that the war that was happening in Russia and Afghanistan has been quenched. So now it's Gaza, is Israel and Gaza that's fighting. And what that's even another thing that I don't even seem to understand, that what they're fighting for. What are they fighting for? That's one of the questions that I've always sat down on my sofa and I've always pondered to myself, that what is Russia and not Russia, I'm saying Russia, Israel and Gaza. What is I always keep thinking to myself that what is Israel and Gaza fighting for? It doesn't make sense. And the worst part of it is that when they're fighting the war, they're not even looking, they don't even pity the children that suffers it. Every child that is born into Israel and Gaza, they're born into the war. They're born into it. That is what they know. That is what they know. They know that one day they'll be happy. They'll be happy with their mother or their parents. Then the next day, a bomb out of nowhere has actually destroyed their home. But what is all this fighting for? That's the question. That's actually the question that I keep on wondering. What is all this fighting for? Because these children are innocent. The children are innocent. I don't see the reason why children need to be entangled in what they know nothing about. And that's the reason why this poverty, that's the reason why there's no money. That's the reason why they don't have food. That's part of the reason why they don't have food. Because the little that they have gets taken away just because of nonsense fighting that's meant to be resolved long time ago. That's one of the problems that the world is having. And if only if God can touch Israel and Gaza to stop fighting, the world will be a better place. It will be a better place. Because I don't seem to understand. Thank you. Because I don't seem to understand why it is that this war is happening. And my heart really goes out to these children. My heart goes out to them. Because I'll be thinking to myself that if any of those children were my children, I would save them. I would. If I actually had the power to actually save them, I would. I actually would. Because these are just innocent children that doesn't know anything. Innocent children that are human beings like you and I. They're human beings like you and I, and they're supposed to grow, mature, grow into adults. They're supposed to live life and have a free education. They're not supposed to be entangled into what they know nothing about. If this war of a thing between two people that started, why is it that children are involved? Why is it that children are being killed? Why is it that mothers and fathers are being killed? Why is families being destroyed? All in the name of this war. Why? We need to think. We need to open our eyes. We need to open our eyes and think, What is all this? What is all this fighting for? We need to think that why is it that all this war is going on? Mostly Israel and Gaza. If Israel and Gaza can come together and do their peace talk or whatever it is that I think, whatever the peace talk that President Trump is trying to settle between Israel and Gaza. If they can come together and do the peace talk, then the world will be a better place. Because there's no point of all this fighting. There's no point of all this war, because our world is already coming to an end. The world is coming to an end already. So we all need to be our brother's keepers. We need to be our brother's keepers, and we need to look after each other. It doesn't matter what country you come from. It doesn't matter whether if you're Nigerian, whether if you're Indian, whether if you're Pakistani. It doesn't matter whether if you're from Jamaica. It doesn't matter what country or what continent you're from. It doesn't matter. God created every single one of us in his own image. He created us. He created us white, black, Portuguese, Russian. Yeah, God created all of us. God did not create any of us to destroy each other. He didn't. It's just because of the devil himself. It's just because the devil himself. Just because of jealousy that we are dominion over. We are dominion over all the angels and dominion over him. Just because of the jealousy and the pride, that's the reason why he's taking his anger out on us when we are not the one that actually made such a decree. We are not the one that made the decree. So now he's angry. He's been foolishly angry and trying to destroy all of us. Hi, how are you? Thank you for coming on. He's foolishly been angry for nothing, and just because that God has already condemned him and has made a place for him, he now wants to take us down with him. We innocent people that we don't even know nothing of what transpired between God and the devil. We don't know what transpired. We don't know what transpired because majority of us we weren't even born when this whole thing even happened. When this whole thing even happened, we weren't even born. So he's there foolishly getting angry at us for what we know nothing about. The same thing with Israel and Gaza are just foolishly fighting themselves. They're fighting themselves for nothing. When the main person, oh, that's good. When the main person themselves, that's the devil, that they should turn. Israel and Gaza should actually turn their anger out on the devil himself, that is roaming from the beginning of the earth to the end of the earth, looking for who to devour and to destroy. They should center their anger out on the devil himself, and not to be fighting themselves. And what they don't even seem to understand. They don't even seem to understand that's part of what the devil even likes. The devil even likes people fighting themselves. That's what he likes. The devil likes people fighting themselves. That's the reason why he's bringing all this chaos of fighting and war. That's why he's bringing it upon this earth every time, and that's why many people are losing their lives. But what some people don't seem to know, they don't seem to know that They don't seem to know that most people that are losing their life is not ordinary. That is spiritual. They don't know. But if God can open their eyes to realize that these things are spiritual, then they'll be able to find a lasting solution to this problem and fight it through prayers. So that's part of the problems of poverty and food insecurity. War is part of it that causes it. Now poverty restricts food access. A lack of financial resources forces households to spend huge amounts on their income on food, leaving them vulnerable to rising food prices. They may be forced into purchasing cheaper calories but nutrients poor food. So in essence, what this is saying, because of the high prices of food, a lot of places that are quite expensive, like places like Tesco's, and Iceland's, are one of those. Two of those places that are actually quite expensive to shop. So some people actually go for the cheaper option. Most of them shop in Aldi. Most of them shop in Marks and Spencer's food. Yeah. So it depends. It actually depends. But they have to be forced to shop at a cheaper place where is affordable for them because of the high food prices. So for example, like in Tesco's, not all food is quite expensive, but there's a majority of food there that you can buy that is expensive. Of course it is, but that's why they always encourage their shoppers to obtain their club card, because you can shop as many items as you can get and get discount on club card price, and you'll see yourself spending lesser than what you're actually meant to spend. And that's where the club card is very good and very helpful. The same thing in Iceland's. The same thing in Iceland's, their Iceland store card as well. But it's just that the only difference is with Iceland's is that you actually have to put money on it. You have to put money on that card to be able to get something on discount. Yeah, you have to actually shop by you have to shop by you have to put a little you have to put some money on your Iceland store card to be able to use it and to buy whatever you want to buy and get discount from it. That's why I prefer Tesco, because with Tesco you don't put money on club card. Anytime you shop, you just use your club card then the price will reduce. Now food insecurity causes poor health. Now if you actually don't eat, if you don't eat well, if you don't eat very well, you'll be having series of health problems. You'll have I've forgotten that sickness that they call. Please, any of you, if you can help me to know the that kind of sickness, that if you don't eat any food at all for days, and the worms in your belly start disturbing you. I've forgotten what they call that problem. So if you can let me know, that would be great. So if malnourished. Malnourished. Thank you. So they'll be so malnourished. They'll be so malnourished that they'll lose so much weight. They'll lose so much weight that you even be seeing you'll be seeing their bone. You'll be seeing their bone through their skin. That's the level of it. You'll be seeing their bone through their skin. And it's a concern, and that's a very big concern. And that's why if you see yourself in the UK, if you see yourself in the UK, you're quite lucky. Although in the UK it is hard. I'm not gonna lie, it is hard here as well. It's hard to live here. It is hard to live here. It's hard to actually see food to eat, because there are a lot of people that lives here in the UK that they're out on the streets, that they don't see food. They practically begging is their profession. Yeah, begging is their profession. They go out there. They go out there all the time. They most of the time you find them sleeping inside a train station, or even outside the train station. Yeah, that's mostly where you see them. Even outside the supermarket, that you'll see them sleeping outside the supermarket, or under a bridge. It's so sad. It's really so sad for them to experience such a thing. It's so sad. And thankfully to the general public, there are some people that actually give to them. There are people that give to them. Yeah, there are people with good heart that actually gives to them. They give to them quite a lot. Whenever they beg, because most of the time I actually see it all the time. Even when I'm going to work, I see it all the time. About two of them or one, they'll both come on the train while the train is moving, and they'll be begging the members of the public to help them, that they need help just to buy a meal. And some won't give. Well, rather, what some of them will do will actually give them some of them will actually give them their food that they bought for themselves. So they'll sacrifice being hungry just for that person, and give that person that food that they bought for themselves to eat, and give it to that person that is in need. They'll give them their food. They'll give them their food, and they'll give them food. They'll give them biscuit. They'll give them drink, just so that they're okay. And if it really gets to them, if it does really touch them and it gets to them, sometimes they may give them money, but not all of them. Some of them will just give them only food, and they'll say okay, and then they'll move to the next person, asking them to help them with food, not even just food, but for money for them to find somewhere to sleep, or somewhere for them to sleep, or to rent somewhere, practically. But as soon as that person has given them that money, what some of them will do is that they will actually go into Sainsbury's, or they're going to Tesco's and buy a drink, and yet they are the one that cried. They're the one that actually cried that they need money for food, and they've gone into Sainsbury's or Tesco's to buy alcohol. Honestly, sometimes one of the questions that I often ask, that why would they waste money on food, on alcohol? It's sad, really, really sad. Now, poor health traps people into poverty. Health issues and malnourishment reduces an individual's capacity to work, lowers their productivity, and hinders children's education, attainment, and future earning potential. Now, you see, if you don't eat food, it affects you in every way. Not even just you, but the children. It affects you in every way. You will continue to lose weight. You will continue to lose more and more weight. You'll continue to be malnourished. You will often not be able to concentrate on your job, just because you're hungry and you need food. And if you have children, or if you have a child and you're not able to feed yourself, then you're not able to feed that child as well, just because of money that you don't have money to feed yourself. You don't have money to feed your child, and to pay all the necessary things that you need to pay for. That means that you don't have money to fund your child's education. It's so sad. Yeah. Now another thing that causes poverty and food insecurity, conflict and violence. I mentioned about war. So we're not going to go into that again. Climate change. Extreme weather events like droughts, floods, and heat waves destroy crops, disrupts food supplies, and causes instability in food production. Climate change is another problem. That's another problem that causes poverty and food insecurity, because of the weather. There are countries that always has hot weather. Countries like Australia. Yeah, Australia. Countries like Australia. Countries like mostly Australia that I know, that has that their summer is all year round. They don't even have nothing. They don't suffer the cold that we suffer here. They don't suffer it. In fact, they enjoy. I wish that it reverses. I wish it can reverse, that we have Australia's weather and Australia has our weather. I wish, but unfortunately it's impossible. So when it gets really hot, it destroys the crops, disrupts food chain and supplies. So as many who are farmers, as many who are into farming that grows food, as many who are into farming that grows foods, that they grow a lot of food. When it gets very, very hot, it actually destroys the drought and destroys that food chain and supply. So not only do they grow food for themselves and family, but they actually do it as a business as well. They do it as a business. They actually do it as a business to earn a living from it. And when the heat wave comes in and destroys the droughts and the food supply, then they won't have money. They won't have money for business again. And many farmers in all the countries around the world as well, they won't be able to import. They won't be able to import their goods to those various countries as well, because the heat wave has destroyed their crops, and it will affect them. It will affect them very, very much. It will affect them, and it will affect their business. So they will end up having to crack their brain trying to figure out how they can make money again. But it's not meant to be. It's not meant to be so. And that is one of the reasons why it is very important, and it's very, very good, that no matter what your issues are, turn to God for help, because He will help. Now, when there's not food, when there's not money for food, it causes a lot of things: mental health and emotional distress, the anxiety and shame associated with not being able to feed oneself or one's family takes a psychological toll. Studies show that food insecurity correlates with high rates of depression, anxiety, and stress. You see, that's another thing that it leads to, and that's more or less the reason why all these problems that is happening in Africa and mostly Nigeria, if they can stop taking bribery and stop all this corruption, because it's all part of it. It's all part of it that is causing poverty and food insecurity, because of bribery and corruption. And the See, the citizens of Nigeria, they're the ones that end up suffering. They're the ones suffering. They go out there during the early hours of the morning, hogging on the streets with basket and tray on their head. And if they see cars on the road, they'll go into the center of the road, but obviously making sure that the car or the truck doesn't hit them. They'll go into the center of the road and be advertising what they're selling to people. And yeah, they'll advertise what they're selling to people, and yeah, they'll advertise and ask that would you like to buy? Would you like to buy? I've actually seen it quite. I've seen it quite a lot. I've seen it quite a lot when I was in Nigeria. When I last went to Nigeria on holiday, I've seen it quite a lot. Mostly like little children of age 13 and 14 are on the streets hogging, just trying to earn a living. Just because their parents don't have the money to send them to school. And that's even another problem. If you don't have money to send your child to school in Nigeria, is a problem. They'll throw that child out. And they will not allow their child to further their education until they pay their school fees. And it's not nice. It's not good. It is not good at all. It's bad. Because if a child is stopped from being educated, they will end up turning to armed robbers on the streets and robbing people, robbing politicians, robbing rich people on the streets, just because they were not privileged to be able to finish their education, just because their parents was not able to pay for their school fees due to lack of money. It's not nice. It's not nice, and it's not right. It is not right for a child to suffer. So please, I am really appealing to President Tinubu and all the other presidents of Africa to please do not just think about your family alone. Think about the citizens, because they are citizens just like you. It is not only just your country. It is not just your country. So you need to invest. You need to invest in the lives of people. Because if you invest in the lives of people, in the lives of citizens, then they will be able to be independent on their own. But when your greed and your stinginess is not allowing that to happen, how is things going to change? And all you presidents that every 4 years that takes over from the person that has actually led the country, you'll be given all the manner and all the fake promises. You'll be saying, that if you vote for me, all this crime rate will reduce. They'll bring more police. They'll bring more police to protect the citizens. If you vote for me, that all this knife crime will end. If you vote for me, the increase of food prices will reduce. Vote them in, and you will see that everything that they promise, they only just said it with their mouth just to get into power. as soon as they get into power, we that voted them in, we're like, is that where we're ghosts? That we actually had pity. We had pity for this person, because this person actually begged us to vote for them, to vote them in, and yet things are still the same. Please, I am appealing to President Tinubu and to as many of the African presidents, not even just the African presidents, but to all presidents, to please come together and make the country a better place. Make the country a better place, please. Because you can't continue to suffer. You can't continue to suffer the citizens. You can't. Enough is enough. Please, stop suffering the citizens for what they know nothing about. Stop suffering them, please. I'm appealing to you. Please. I'm a Nigerian myself. I'm a Nigerian myself, and I know what it's like. Although I've never actually lived in Nigeria. I've never lived there, so I've never lived in Nigeria. But every year when I go to Nigeria, I see what they suffer, and it's not good. It is not good at all. So please, I'm appealing to President Tinubu and all the presidents of Africa to please, all the presidents of Africa and around the world as well, to please come together as one and make your country a better place. And if you can do that, God will bless you. God will bless you richly. Anyway, guys, so guys, we've come to an end now, and we will continue this. We will continue this or another topic, either tomorrow or by latest Friday, because tomorrow I might be on tomorrow or by Friday, because I have to continue with my work training. So I need to kind of continue with it, and that tomorrow, so that my boss can give me some more shifts. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna take a rest now, because I've been with you guys for quite a while now, and and I actually really hope that you all really enjoy this. To Gary and Michael, I really hope that you actually really enjoy this, and let me know if you want me to kind of continue talking about this topic, because both of you really enjoyed it a lot, and I really see that you both really enjoyed it. So anyway, guys, so I will see you on so I'll see you on either tomorrow or let me check actually what's I just realized today is Thursday. I will either see you on tomorrow or Saturday. Either way, you guys will see me on. Anyway, I'm gonna relax now. I'm gonna relax now, and because I would like to eat a snack, and just to enjoy the rest of my afternoon. And please do let me know your thoughts and opinions about this very topic that I just spoke about. Yeah, and do let me know if you want me to continue talking about it, or something else. But for now, guys, yeah, so I'm gonna love you all and leave you so that I can rest. Because because I need to rest myself so that I can be strong. I can be strong for either tomorrow or Saturday. Anyway, guys, do enjoy the rest of your evening, and to as many of you that were not able to come on, yeah, when you have chance, you can actually listen to this live, and you've not missed out on anything. And to Zora and to as many of you that I've not seen, now you guys are seeing me. So yeah, you guys are seeing me. So please, as many of you that thinks that I actually ran away, which I didn't, I am back. So please, I want to see you all. I want to see you all come back. I want to see you all come back, please. Anyway, so yeah, I'll see you all on either tomorrow or Saturday. God bless, and thank you all for taking out time to be with me and to listen to me and listen to what I have to say. And yeah, do enjoy the rest of your evening, and please do send me a comment. And again, before I go, please don't fail to subscribe, comment, thumb up, do like me, share with your friends, your colleagues, and as many people as you feel that will benefit from this. Once again, is your girl Adez. See you all on tomorrow or Saturday. God bless you all. Bye for now. Once again, is your girl Adez. See you all on tomorrow or Saturday. Bye.